Hello, my name is Father Gregory Pine, and I'm a Dominican friar of the province of St. Joseph, and I'm here in St. Louis at Seek 2023. And since we had all kinds of time, insofar as there's nothing really going on here, just a couple of events. That's a joke. So we had some time, so we thought we would make some videos for topics that are of service to those who are involved with Focus or who might be interested in Focus content. For this video, we thought we'd talk a little bit about friendship, specifically like authentic friendship. So in Christian conversations, we're often talking about like how to contribute to relationships in ways that are upbuilding or edifying or life-giving, whatever the language it is that you use. And sometimes you'll hear people say either you're selfish, you're egotistical, or you're generous, you're altruistic, you're other-minded. Problem with putting it in those terms is that we get in the habit of thinking about everything that I like is somehow bad. I need to deny all of my personal preferences. I need to deny all of my enjoyments and focus on the other individual in a gesture of self-sacrificial love so that this can be a genuine friendship. But when we do that, sometimes it gets weird because then you find yourself in a conversation with another person and they're always trying to ask you questions about you. And you're like, okay, cool. I suppose it's interesting that you're not really proud and talking about yourself all the time, but I don't know, it'd be nice to learn about you a little bit. Or maybe sometimes you get the impression that another person is being nice to you or being kind to you as like a personal project or like a charity case, which is also weird because I don't think many of us want to be the object of another person's charitable endeavors, right? We want to be the delight of their life. We want to be the apple of their eye. Maybe that's a little too romantic. We want them to enjoy our company. So maybe you've had the experience of going to a party and you didn't know if you were going to know people there, and maybe you're a little bit anxious, and maybe you text some of your friends to see whether they're coming and they're not, and so you're hesitating, you're on the fence, you might not in fact go because it could be awkward. Okay, well, when you arrive, you cross the threshold, you see somebody who knows you, who recognizes you, and whose face lights up when they see you, right? You immediately feel comfortable, you immediately feel at ease, like this is a place where I'm going to have fun, this is a place where I'm going to enjoy myself. And I think that it's those types of relationship which we want to cultivate in our lives, where we revel in the other, where we enjoy the other, and where we kind of make a common life with the other. So rather than thinking about it in terms of either you're egotistical or you're altruistic, either you're selfish or you're other-centered, we can think about it as friendship, we can think about friendship as a communion in the good, which is to say, when we have a genuine friendship, we are hand in hand or side by side or commonly involved in something that's worthwhile, in something that's noble, in something that's dignified or beautiful or however you want to describe it. And that we kind of found a life on that common interest and on that common pursuit. So there's somebody who talks about how love is a combination of two desires. Basically, it's a desire for the good of the beloved and a desire for union with the beloved. Okay, so you want to promote the good of the other. You want to kind of encourage them in their noble and beautiful pursuits, but not as something that's at a distance. You want to be bound up in it. You want to be part of it because like the ancients say, a friend is another self, or as one author says, when you have two friends, it's as if it's one soul in two bodies. So you want to do this as a fruit of union. It should be a common project, a common pursuit. And so when we're working on our friendships and when we're investing in our friendships, it's good to deny yourself because we can be selfish, right? It's good to think in terms of sacrifice. But if it becomes sacrifice all the time, all day, every day, it can get a little bit weird. Rather, we want to focus with our friends on the things that, are like the things that interest us both and the things that make us to be better, both as friends for each other and ultimately of friends of God. So concretely and particularly, when you're working on your friendships, it's not just a matter of kind of settling in or of lazily enjoying each other's company while looking at your phones or playing video games. It's a matter of challenging each other without it becoming a source of stress or tension. You want to call each other further up and further into the life of God, right? To the life of grace by the example that you set, maybe sometimes by the correction that you give. But I know in my life, I have been most encouraged or most edified in my Christian faith and practice by the good example of those with whom I live, specifically my Dominican brothers. So the way that they live their consecration, the way that they live their baptism has been an inspiration for me, and often it's a kind of corrective. So I'll recognize in their witness a way in which my own life is incoherent or lacking. And so in friendship, we can be that for each other. Again, without introducing this note of I'm focusing on you because it's a project, or I'm focusing on you because I need to deny myself. No, we should both be captivated by the Lord. And in our common pursuit of the Lord, we come to discover that as we go side by side or as we go hand in hand, it's all the more delightful. It's all the more wonderful for the fact. So in our relationships, we're trying to pursue goods which are worthy, right? So, it's good to eat delicious food with each other. It's good to have kind of hilarious, frivolous conversations about Philadelphia sports, for instance. But it's also good that there be an opening to higher things, to talk about your future plans and your vocation and your relationship with the Lord, not introducing false notes or projecting a version of yourself which is untrue, but being open, being transparent, being vulnerable in a way that's appropriate to that relationship so that you can build something real on solid rock in pursuit of a good which is worthy of your whole heart's love. So yeah, that's just a little encouragement in your friendships, to be honest before the Lord, to be honest before each other, to recognize the fact that it's not just about denying yourself and giving to the other, but creating a relationship in which you promote the good of the other in union with the other, so that side by side or hand in hand, you can proceed toward the Lord and towards the fullness of your vocation.